I love getting stuff in the mail. I was like that when I was a kid, and I still am.
It's the
I, love,
best.
I know. I love that you can track stuff. Like I'm like, ooh, it was in China. Now it's in Korea. So now
Yes.
they'll probably go to Alaska, then I'll go to Louisville, and then it'll go to Earth City. I know, like,
Right.
the
You know the patterns.
Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. We are back. I'm in the BR Guest Podcast Studios. Ricky's in the Atlanta
Podcast.
podcast studio, or annex down there. And
Hey.
Pam is at Yacht Club.
Yes, she is.
How awesome is that?
We're not jealous at all.
Spaceship Earth is right over her shoulder. She can see Spaceship Earth out that blue window.
I can. I know. I wanted to be able to show it because I have such a beautiful room view and can absolutely see Spaceship Earth from my window.
But if you open that window, the fans will peek in like the Today Show. So we can't.
I'm sure that's what. Yes, that's what's stopping it.
Yes.
Not the fact that the light will completely blow.
Exactly.
Why are
you're on the fourth floor? We can't have people scaling up the yacht club and
right? Yes, that would cause a ruckus. I know.
Isn't that one of the 5 like keys or whatever at Walt Disney?
Safety first, yeah.
Safety for real. People scaling the yacht club just to see Pam record live. Be careful. Thinking of you first. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do questions first. We're going to talk about what we did last week. Pam went on the Wish 3 nights last weekend, and then we'll talk about some stuff we did when we were down there for the agent education program. I learned something very cool that you can do at the Magic Kingdom, which I didn't know. So for everybody, it was pretty awesome.
All right.
So we're going to do that. We're going to also kick off with a few Is This Romantics, which are going to be a day late and $1 short. So you're on your own, bro. So, but you sent them in, so we're going to knock them out. So it's kind of a mess. I was out of town. So you guys been with us for almost 15 years. You know how it goes. We're just going to do the best we can here.
And the answer is always yes. We can make a case for being romantic.
Yes. If you guys send like super romantic ones, it kind of loses the fun. Like there's no, if you were like borderline ones, it'd be more fun. But it's like, do I buy my wife a dozen roses? We go have eat chefs of France. Well,
duh, romantic.
Exactly. And Scott's eating a lobster roll, looking at the Haunted Mansion, so he must be Columbia Harbor House. I'm guessing.
Must be.
That's the place to be. Oh my gosh. Oh, wife's cheer team won nationals again. Congratulations, because that is not easy to do at Walt Disney World. Okay. Oh, we'll get into Michelle's question here in a second. Okay, once we do our Is This Romantics, Michelle, hang tight, because you can. Actually, I saw somebody say on the Wish yesterday online that you can pre-purchase your Rainforest Room tickets now. Okay, and I have a tip too for the photo packages for the cruise line too. Somebody sent me today a guest. Okay, here we go. 3329 2239. I almost got myself. I was messing with everybody with those room numbers during the AEP, and I almost screwed up the show number. That's right there, baby. Glad I hadn't straight record. Audie's laughing her butt off down in Texas because I almost got burned by my own joke. She's always laughing, so it doesn't matter. Okay. She's either laughing or praying for me, one of the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or both.
Probably both. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Oh, wait. I need to hit the tweet real quick. Tweet. Adam Wainwright is pitching. That's a beautiful thing. Okay. Let me close Twitter, though, so I don't get distracted. Okay. 2239. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2239 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a great week. And if you're downloading this right away on Tuesday night, right there as it releases, happy Valentine's Day. You still got a couple hours left, so hopefully you're having a great day. Cupid hit you with an arrow today, and you got some, Reese's peanut butter cups or something, some flowers. I don't know. Or else maybe just got some peace and quiet. I mean, whatever you love, I hope you got it today. So we're going to have a good time. We're going to kick off with a few Is This Romantics at the very last minute. We're going to get them in at the wire here because, of course, I was down at Walt Disney World last week. Had to record early. Then we had a trip report on Monday. We're doing what we can here. The holiday fell at a weird day this year. So a few Is This Romantics listener questions. We're gonna have a good time. So joining us today, the OG crew, we have Ricky down in the ATL. She's always over at the mouseforless.com. Happy Wednesday and a late happy Valentine's Day. Ricky, what's up?
Thank you. As is Brian and my tradition, we tend to not go to a fancy restaurant for Valentine's Day. We go off the beaten path, and today is no exception. We are well, yesterday, I guess I should say, or whenever this comes out. No exception. We went to a pizza place that just is a random pizza place here in Atlanta. So we continued our tradition of not celebrating romantically.
So what's the name of the pizza place and like what's their specialty? Because like in St. Louis, you got some Happy Joe's, you got some Emos, maybe a Cecil Whitaker's. Those would be good, like terrible places to go on Valentine's Day. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, this is a really great restaurant. It's definitely family owned. It's called Two New Yorkers. And it's these brothers who are from New York, and they actually make their pizzas using specialty ovens and stuff like that. And they have this really great pizza that's basically, it's kind of like the Quattro Formaggi at Via Napoli, but a little bit different. So that's kind of what we end up getting. So Brian adds pepperoni to his. I just eat the cheese part. So
I mean, hey, it sounds like a good idea. I mean, 2 New Yorkers and some pizza pie. I mean, that's romantic right there. I mean, it's just romantic. Yeah. I mean,
yeah. This isn't the most like unromantic place we've ever been, but it's not like, let's put it this way. Most people aren't planning on spending their Valentine's Day here. So
White Castle.
Yes. Yeah. We don't have that here. And the Crystal IS closed. So, and I'm not going there. So
sadness. All right. Also joining us, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, who has been super busy over the last week or two. And just so you know, she's joining us from Disney's Yacht Club Resort right now. Pam Forrester, how's it going? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Yeah, I'm getting a little R&R in.
Nice. You deserve it, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I love doing these with our team, but to say it doesn't take a lot of work would be a lie. Yeah. So, but yeah, we had a great time. And now actually I'm just not a ton of R&R because we're working from Walt Disney World. But today I was telling Mike before we started recording, Steve and I usually take a walk like at some point in the afternoon. And today we got to do it around the World Showcase Lagoon. So nice. That's not a bad thing. I'm going to say the afternoon walk took on, a little different flair, I will say today. So it's a good thing.
You are totally winning. Okay, so let me ask you this. So we're going to talk about this on Friday. You went on the Disney Wish with a bunch of agents at the Magic for Less, part of an agent education program. It continued on land at Walt Disney World last week, Monday through Wednesday night. And I joined the group on Monday, and we got to have a good time doing some really cool stuff. So we'll talk about that on Friday. But how are things at Walt Disney World right now? You're down there. What's going on? What's the vibe? Is the weather good? Is the crowds? How are things going?
So today the high was like in lower 70s, and so that's pretty picture perfect, right? I'm not sure that it gets much better than that. There's a light breeze across the World Showcase Lagoon as we heard all the different music from all the different countries as we walked around, and I happen to have a fantastic view outside of my window here at the Yacht Club. I can look out and see the ship that is part of the slide there at Stormalong Bay. And of course, in the distance, I can see Spaceship Earth. So it's actually my favorite view at the Yacht Club, but just a great reminder of sometimes view matters in a room. I'm just going to say, I know that sometimes when we're looking at like the different room prices, you think, yeah, sure, I'll just deal with a garden view room or whatever. But sometimes it's really nice to splurge and get the water view room or the theme park view room or the whatever, the next step up in room views. It can be worth it. So.
It's true.
You're winning. Your walk was better than
my walk. Yeah, right. Agreed.
So your backyard is Epcot right now. So I am not.
It is. And tonight on the beach, they're playing Up is their movie Under the Stars. I know. So maybe that will be our Is This Romantic thing.
You're going to have the tears all over in the first 3 minutes. So
I know. I know.
My tip, don't go out till like 20 minutes in.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. That movie wrecks me.
I know.
Hey,
right?
Real quick though, Pam, did you watch any of the Super Bowl? Did you get to catch any of that? You're down there at Walt Disney World?
We did a little bit, but not a lot. No.
So did you see the Disney commercial that they ran.
Oh
No.
my gosh. Yes.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I did a Super Bowl party and I cried.
I mean, I teared up when I saw it released on a social earlier in the day. They put Walt in it.
I should have watched it on social media before I went to the party. That was my error.
So
I kept skipping it. And then hit me at the party. It was like 100-inch TV.
Yes.
Like surround sound because it came on the second half after the halftime
It
show.
did.
We had like the big jamming system on. Dude, Walt starts talking. I'm like, hold it together, Ramen. Hold it together.
No, I was the same way, and I'd already seen it, and I'm sitting there watching it live, and I'm like, "You've already seen it, so you're not gonna cry." Nope, got it. It got me again. I was like, "Oh, dang it." Okay, yeah. As soon as Walt started talking, I was like, "Well, there we go again." Yeah, it is the perfect commercial, like especially for the 100th celebration of the Walt Disney Company. So Pam, when you get the chance,
I'm going to. I have it actually in my list of things to do.
Look it up online. It is fantastic, and you will tear up. There's no way.
I'm sure.
No way. So.
I didn't think I would. And then when Walt started,
it was just when Walt started talking, man, you got me. Yeah.
Stop. I was like, don't throw that in those stupid dog commercials with Amazon.
Oh my gosh, the dog commercials.
Dude.
You can't do this to a pregnant lady. I'm just saying.
I wasn't pregnant, dude. I was just pregnant with like 8,000 wings and some, cheese ball. I mean, and some taco dip. I mean, that's the only pregnancy I had going on.
Pregnant.
I was
this
emotional.
Is not fair to do to me. I'm just saying.
Yes. Okay, we gotta get to why we're here. Okay, so we got some Is This Romantic? So we gotta hit these quick. We got 3, I think. Brad, my good buddy, Yankees fan. He's going to be watching some World Baseball Classic at Rick's Lounge. I talked to him today. He's going down next month. He's got it all planned out. The world tournament that goes on during spring training this year. He says, "Hey, BOGP crew, a romantic moment with my wife. My wife and I experienced on our last Disney trip, riding the Skyliner during the Epcot fireworks. Such a beautiful moment to spend with my beautiful wife. Happy Valentine's Day to you all." That's not a question, dude. Yeah,
that is definitely
super romantic.
Yes, yeah, but you got to have the gondola. I think. By yourselves. I mean, it might be romantic with other people, but it might be a little.
It's more romantic when it's by yourself.
It's more romantic when it's by yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Got to give him a ding. Okay.
Got to give him a ding.
Because the new mixer had to find the right button. Okay. There you go. Okay. Michelle has one. Dressing up in coordinating costumes and embarking on the Galactic Star Cruiser together. Ooh. Is this romantic? I got something to say. If one of you is dressed as Chewbacca, however, Princess Leia and Han Solo.
Oh gosh!
Yeah, I paid $600 for this board, so I'm going to use it. Okay,
so got it.
Pam, thoughts on the coordinating outfits for a little voyage to Galaxy?
Yeah. Plus, it's like space romantic, so I think things are multiplied. Yeah, I think. Okay. Yeah, there's absolutely it is a multiplier of 2. Romance? I think because out in space it's a multiplier of 2. I'm pretty sure that's the right formula. Maybe it's 2.35 or something like that. But yes, I think so. No, you know why? I think it's romantic because someone clearly has an affinity for Star Wars doing that. And I think anytime you can support each other and, things that you randomly like, I think that's very romantic. So
good point.
Here's my issue though. Like, okay, so, it's fantasy and all that, going to the Galactic Star Cruiser, dressing up, role playing for, 48 hours, 50 hours, really getting immersed in the story. However, I feel like over the last 72 hours, we're already being invaded by aliens. So in the real world, I mean, we got balloons, we got ET getting shot down, octagonal things getting shot down over the Great Lakes.
Who knows?
Is that romantic? I don't know.
Well, maybe you're going to get additional training there when you go on Galactic Star Cruiser, and you'll be super prepared to deal with these things as they come up.
The world is so weird right now. Like nobody even cares because Super Bowl is going on. Like dude, we're shooting ET out of the sky left and right, like every 12 hours. But hey, man, Jalen Hurts, how's his shoulder? It's so crazy. All right, last one. Megan's got one. Hey, Mike, Pam, Ricky, and maybe Scott. Mine isn't this romantic. Is beaches and cream for dinner. Sharon and No Way Jose. Then back to Epcot for one of the last nights of Harmonious. Thanks, Megan. She's in Dallas. She's in the Big D.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't mean
Definitely.
Dallas.
Now you're making me want to consider that for my plans this evening. Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, or you could do Brian and I did just a couple of weeks ago where we did the opposite thing where we went to the boardwalk because one of the listeners said that they have basically a No Way Jose at the boardwalk, and they do. It's something Thunder, ice cream. And it's almost the same exactly. I think it's one less scoop of ice cream or something like that. So we went over there and had that. But the part that was not so romantic is that I got my own thing of ice cream and made Brian buy his own thing of ice cream because I was like, I'm not sharing with you. This is all mine. I mean, it ended up being a mistake because it was way more ice cream than I ever needed. But I also didn't regret any life choice at that moment because I was like, no, this.
She threw an elbow and she was like, got her order in and then looked at Brian and been like, what are you ordering?
Go ahead, let's go.
So I'm trying to think. I think that's super romantic. The only thing that would make it more romantic in my book, which you can't really do, if that was eliminations at the end. Harmonious, not my favorite.
Well, soon it will be Epcot forever. So
it will be it'll be Epcot forever
romantic.
for a little bit.
Yeah, the least romantic of the shows. Yeah,
I know.
It'll be Epcot forever for a minute.
Yeah,
I love the Coco part in Harmonious. That's my favorite part.
I love the Princess and the Frog part.
That's not romantic though. That's kind of upbeat, right?
Yeah,
La Familia. Yeah,
got the guitar going. I love that part.
Yeah,
makes me want Mexican food, but everything does.
Oh,
is there not a romantic part in Harmonious? I've seen it like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, there's they do a Beauty and the Beast part.
Yeah, the Beauty and the Beast part. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I think that's probably romantic.
That works. Okay, so you get it, Megan. You're good. You're okay. Everybody wins. Ding.
Yay.
Okay, so we got questions here in the live chat, so let's get to it. Nichelle says, hi there. I was wondering how I purchased the Rainforest Pass for the cruise. If you have time to answer. Well, we have time. That's why we're here. And we appreciate you being here, Nichelle, on the live chat on Facebook. So, Pam, you're just on the Wish, so let her know.
Yeah, so there's been reports that you can buy it through your Disney account before you get on the ship, while you reserve all the shore excursions and other things like that. Now, some people have said they see it, some people have said they can't, whatnot. So try there first before you even get on the ship. And then if you can't do it there, as soon as you get on the ship, head on up to the spa and reserve it for the length of your stay, or if you just want to do it for a day. But I'm telling you, if you're going on the Wish ship, this is the place you want to do the Rainforest Room. Nice. And everyone who's going on the Be Our Guest podcast cruise, close your ears for a minute until I get mine reserved.
Yes, exactly. Now, Pam, I have a quick question though, because I've seen conflicting reports about this. So I don't know if it's something with the Wish only or whatever, but I know with the other ships, you could get just a 1-day pass for the Rainforest Room ahead of time. But if you wanted the length of stay pass, you had to go to the spa. So do you know about that, or is that?
I don't know, because there have been differing reports.
I know,
on this. That's the thing. And I think that they may be testing something out for sure. But check and see. I really have not gotten on the cruise and had it where the Rainforest Room was completely sold out. Unless I didn't check that first day.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. But other than that, you should be good. And they did have length of stay pass while we were on the ship for sure.
Nice. So. Okay, that's good.
Okay, throw out a couple pro tips. One is that if you're in a stateroom like me, where it's me and 3 women, my wife, my adult daughter, and 15-year-old, the Rainforest Room is a savior, because that's where you can take your showers, because you're never getting in your shower in your stateroom, like when it's dinner time. It's not happening. And plus, you get like fancy showers. Like you can go up there and get the products. So that's where I end up taking my showers. And the other thing, I can't remember what it was, but it's something about the Rainforest. Oh, just keep checking the app though, or your thing, because that was just something I was seeing all over social media over the last few days.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question is from Sheena, live on Facebook, joining us. She says, I'm running my first ever race after picking up running a year ago. Thanks for being inspired by the podcast. I love that, but don't hate me at the end of the race. I'm running the 5K and the 10K at Princess next week. So excited. Should I get Memory Maker, or should I just purchase my individual race pictures through PhotoPass? I really won't need a ton of park pictures Thanks so much for all the work you've put into the podcast. Okay, here's the deal.
Yes.
If you're down for a race weekend, get Memory Maker.
Correct.
You're going to get so many great pictures. The photographers are all over the courses. I mean, all over. You're going to get 100 pictures. I mean, probably at least. And you're going to get, and the funniest thing is you're going to get terrible pictures. Some of them they're going to get you at the worst times.
Terribly good.
They're hilarious.
Yeah.
Because and the thing is, like, because like I am friends and family with so many people. So I get to see all Scott's terrible ones, and Scott sees all mine.
Yeah.
Scott's like real good at like doing stuff. So he takes my terrible ones and makes them into like animated GIFs, and they're awful. I mean, I look like I'm 98, and I mean, I probably already do look like that when I'm running, but it looks horrible because he takes them. But you get the great ones where you're looking good, and then you get the ones where they caught you walking, like and you were like itching your nose or something. You get all kinds of crazy pictures. But yes, get Memory Maker because it's a way to go back and remember the experience, especially for your first race weekend. Yeah. The photographers, I will give them credit on the courses at these events. They are so good. And plus you can get your post-race pictures there with your medals. They're right there as you leave the post-race area with your food box, your little nutrition box. Yes, it's money well spent. Get it before you go. Forget about it. Get your 100 pictures or more, and just you will not regret it. Just get it and collect all the pictures. There's no doubt.
Yeah, and the per price picture, I can't even remember what it was, but it's not inexpensive.
Correct. So by the time you get like maybe 2 or 3, you're at the point where you're probably close to where a Memory Maker would be. So I would absolutely get it, because then you can do, like you said, Mike, the pictures on the race course, which are fantastic. You can do the after pictures, but then you can do pictures in the park too, with your medals. That's such an important part of a race weekend is, showing off that bling in front of the castle or wherever. So with the PhotoPass picture. So, and they do some really creative stuff after the fact. Those PhotoPass photographers, I mean, obviously we know Kim, but they are, they do some phenomenal work. And make things very special when you have like a race, weekend medals and that you want to display and stuff like that. So I would absolutely get Memory Maker and take full advantage of it.
Yeah, you're already in for, so much with the races.
Right.
You will not regret it. So total. And look for me. I'll be down there. Scott will be down there. We'll be having a good time. I just got back and I'm going back again. I leave next cruise day. Okay, so Michelle has a question. She's one of my guests over the Magic for Less, been for years. Love Michelle. She's getting ready to go on a cruise. And we had this issue because I was even calling Disney Cruise Line. We were going back and forth about this. She was trying to pre-purchase the photo package, right, for her cruise to buy the pictures before the cruise. And she was signing up, and she's in a Facebook group with a lot of her other cruisers. And they were having issues. They were getting an error. And it was like frustrating, right? Because I was getting the same error. I was talking to a person at Disney Cruise Line, and this error, we couldn't figure out why this error was happening. But, Disney IT sometimes. Uh-huh. So here's the workaround. Just for anybody who's trying to get it. If you're trying to pre-purchase the photo, it's not Memory Maker on Disney Cruise Line, it's a photo package. And remember that it's a totally different thing. Like you buy certain pictures, we can buy unlimited pictures, just different tiers. So the deal is when you buy it, you just need to select one person in your party when you purchase it. Like, 'cause you can tick off all the boxes for like everybody in your stateroom. For some reason, don't check everybody. Check one person, and it will allow you to go through and purchase it. Now, this will be good for everybody still, and it kicks off when you embark the ship. But if you check off everybody, it'll error out. And that's
weird
issue that they're having right now. So just remember, you just one person, you can purchase it, and then you got it. So,
and unlike PhotoPass, you actually had to buy it per stateroom.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
So.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Speaking of, we have another question about Disney Cruise Line from Brooke. She says, "Hey, Mike and team, I found your podcast. We're planning our daughter's first trip to Disney around Christmas of 2021. Between that and planning this trip, it reignited my love of Disney parks and experiences." That's awesome. Thanks so much. Since we have gone on a cruise out of Miami on the Dream and are heading back to Disney for spring break this year. Also this year, we are booked on the Dream for a European cruise through Italy. And she's doing it right.
Yeah.
I'm going to be friends with her. We are traveling with friends who have not been on a Disney cruise before, but we have our experience booking windows, so our experience booking windows are different. We have our reservations linked, but trips were purchased separately. I was not sure if that meant I could book experiences for them when my window opened. We want to do some port excursions together and want to make sure we get the same ones. Do you know if we can book experiences for them as part of our traveling party? Thanks for all the energy, talk, and trips or tips. I can't talk today. Every week. What happens when you leave the studio for a week? Brooke. So Pam, talk about that, because unfortunately it does work again by stateroom and by the highest Castaway Club member in each stateroom. But likely you'll still be able to do port adventures together.
It does, and that's exactly how it works. So even though your booking window may be open based on your Castaway Club status, your friends will not have access to that same booking window. And the other thing to note about your Castaway Club status and the booking windows are that not only do you have to have that status, but you also have to be paid in full before you start to do that. And that's something that some people forget. Your final payment is actually not due when, if you're gold, your booking window will be open, but you need to be paid by that date if you want to make any onboard activities. So think about that. And most of the time, shore excursions are going to have some availability for a while that, even after Silver or non-Castaway Club members are able to make arrangements, most will have availability. Now, some of the things that are really challenging to get, the cabanas on Castaway Key. Those are just those are challenging. And sometimes even platinum Castaway Club members don't have access to them because they've been reserved by guests who are sailing in a concierge stateroom and has access to that even earlier. So if you have your heart set on one of those will be the challenge. But the good news is that if you are able to secure one of those, you can actually add people from the other stateroom at a later time. So that's one that sort of goes against everything that we've just said. But yeah, you'll likely still be fine though for just about every shore excursion. And if you just want to wait to make shore excursions until their window opens, you could do that too, and then see what's available at that time.
See, I'd probably still book mine when my window opens.
You'd be like, too bad for them.
Too bad, so sad. But I mean, I want to do what I want to get, man. I'm platinum or whatever. I'm gold. Sorry, silver. I don't know. I think it's probably going to work out in the end, but I would still not let my window close. That's just me, though. I'm pretty mean. I'm selfish, I guess. Okay. Tom's got a question here in the live chat. Hey, Mike and the BOGP crew. Hi, hope you're all are well, and hello from the U.S. Navy. How about that? Thank you for your service. We appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
I had a short daddy-daughter trip scheduled in January. We were supposed to stay at the beach club, and we were really looking forward to leaving the cold and heading to Florida. Unfortunately, I'm a Navy reservist, and I got recalled and currently serving on active duty, so we had to cancel our trip. It was a bit disappointing, but I'm already trying to plan an even better trip for when I return home. I'm thinking an early June trip once my daughter is done with school. First, I have unused tickets from our canceled trip, bought them through Disney, and they're not military tickets. Is it possible to still use those tickets? And if so, what's the easiest way to use those tickets on our next trip? So Pam, talk to him about that. He has tickets or non-military tickets, or just standalone tickets, I'm assuming, because I don't know if this was a package, doesn't sound like it, and he just wants to use them, couldn't use them in January, but wants to use them possibly in June for his trip with his daughter.
So you should still be able to use them if they're unused. You'll want to call Disney Ticketing and adjust the dates for those so that they have those available. The other little known thing is, and we do this often for guests who have maybe purchase tickets outside of a package and then are like, when we explain to them the advantages of having their tickets included in the package, they're like, oh my gosh, I have these other tickets. Every now and then, and we can't guarantee this, but we can call Disney on your behalf and try to explain, look, I have this package here for this guest. I've added tickets to their package. They have these standalone tickets. They were wondering if, as long as they do this, can we sort of make it so that they don't have two sets of tickets? Now, again, that's not something we can always do, but it is something you might be able to do in this case too. And another thing I want to point out to you is that Disney has fantastic rates for military guests who are coming. So make sure that you take advantage of those rates. You can book those right now. The sooner you can book them, the better. And try to do that as well.
All right, his second question. Now, this is totally you, Pam, because it's a resort question. Here we go. He says, second, I'm trying to figure out a resort. My biggest concern is any construction work / closures that would impact our resort stay. I'm thinking the Grand Floridian, Polynesian, Wilderness Lodge, or Yacht and Beach Club. Is there any major work scheduled for June 2023 at these resorts that might impact our trip? Or is there a good resource out there that tracks construction at Disney resorts? We've stayed at these resorts in the past, so I have a pretty good idea of the pros and cons of each. But I want to go all out on this trip and don't want to be disappointed if pools, lobbies, etc. are blocked off or inaccessible. Thanks for hosting this fantastic podcast and for all your positivity, Tom from Ohio. P.S. I'm listening to a Trip Report episode of yours as I write this. June 2022, we did a split Universal Disney trip staying at Yacht Club, and I surprised my family. Parents, sisters, nieces, wives, and daughter. Wife, single.
Only one wife. Only one wife.
Not wife. My bad, Tom. Whoa. He said with a VIP tour. It was pretty amazing experience, and we had a great guide. Since we didn't plan on spending a lot of time in the parks, I felt it was worth it, even if my wife doesn't agree. You know what? Sometimes you got to pay the money when your wife doesn't agree just to make the experience happen, Tom. I appreciate you. And thank you for your service, first of all. That is amazing. Our country's great because of folks like you who serve to keep our country great. So thank you for being out there. We appreciate it. It's so great to have you listening to our show as one of our greatest out there. So thank you for that. So to the resorts. Now, we were down for an agent education program, and we toured a lot of those resorts and got some inside information last week about construction and stuff like that going on. So Pam, he mentioned the ones that we hit them all. We hit Wilderness Lodge, we hit Grand, we hit Raleigh. I mean, we're at the Contemporary. The only ones we didn't tour this time were Yacht and Beach. So what do you think for like this summer? He doesn't want to be around construction.
So first of all, I'll just put it out there that many resorts have construction right now. But most of that construction is actually not going to impact your stay. It's very rare that construction impacts the pools. If so, there's usually something that is out there way in advance. Like we know at some point next year, the contemporary pool is going to be down at different times. So we usually know that. They try at least to do that because they know that it's such a big deal. Right now, the construction going on at all the places that you mentioned probably is not going to be impacting the pool, especially during the summer months. Disney is actually really cognizant of that and tries to make that happen. So there is construction happening right now at Grand Floridian. They're actually updating the decor at the rooms. And I want to say the new rooms, boom, they are so nice. Just beautiful, beautiful additions to Grand Floridian. So I would not hesitate to stay there. The construction, they're sort of going building by building when they do it. And I don't think that you'll be impacted by that. The pools absolutely are not being impacted by that. So take that into consideration.
What about the lobby there, though? I heard that they might be updating the lobby at Grand Floridian, but they haven't come up with the date yet that I've heard.
Right. So, I think that they will. I think that they'll have it reflect the new decor of that because it's not so incredibly different. I think it's just so much brighter. And I see them wanting to carry that throughout the resort, but they haven't said, when that will happen.
We got to speak with, was that the general manager of the Grand Floridian that came out?
One of the managers for sure.
So she told us, because they're going building by building around the Grand and updating each building and refurbishing the rooms. Obviously, the main building is going to be the very last building. Now, again, we don't know the specific timeline, but she's thinking that one is probably going to be the very last one. They're hoping to have it done by this like late fall. So that's a tentative timeline. With Disney, everything is
for sure. For sure. So over at the Polynesian, those rooms are all completely done. The lobby has been updated, all of that. They have that fantastic new Moana themed room, which is just so beautiful and was such a great addition. They are, though, building that tower that is going to be for the deluxe villas. So keep that in mind. There will be a part of the resort that is impacted by that. In addition, we also have whatever they're doing with where the luau used to be.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing. But again, I don't really expect either of those to impact your trip very much. Over at the Contemporary, of course, we have the new Incredibles themed rooms. Those rooms are all completely done, and the lobby has been updated as well. I don't think there's construction happening there.
Yeah, I see it.
As of this moment.
I didn't even see a shovel. I'm just saying, like, not one shovel. But
Exactly.
And I went out during one of our breaks and walked around the whole garden wing just to get my steps in. I was trying to film a circle, and I didn't see anything. You know what? Wait a second, though. The feature pool was down when I went back there. It was.
So
everybody was swimming in the blue swirly pool that we had that good time in during COVID.
Right. Yes. I know. Right. The bullseye pool.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah.
Right. Yes. All right. So you have that. And then over at the Wilderness Lodge, those rooms have been updated in the not too distant past. They are doing some updates of the deluxe villa rooms over at Boulder Ridge. But other than that, I don't believe there's any construction going on. The pools are both okay. Neither of those are going down for construction at any time. The Disney website itself has renovations at different points in time. They're sort of hard to find. Over at the Mounts for Less, I know that they also keep a list of renovations going as well. But just keep in mind, because of the nature of Disney, that they're always trying to improve, make things better, keep things clean and fresh, that there are always last minute renovations. But Disney is really thoughtful about how they do them, and they try to do them in a way that impacts the least number of guests.
I would say, though, beach and yacht would probably be your safest bet for the summer. Like, if you don't want to be on any construction, there's nothing much.
You want to be far away from it at all.
I mean, you got Stormalong Bay.
Yes, true.
Yeah, that's true.
Pool, and your daughter.
And it is a fantastic pool.
Yeah, I'd go.
I look out over it.
Yeah, I'm saying all right out your window there, but yeah, I'm just saying, like, I mean, sorry, 15 minutes later, I would yacht beach, go there, do the other ones later. They're going to be awesome, but there is construction going on. Okay, so we got two more questions here. I want to make sure we get to Mark up in Chicago, my good buddy, who is the excellent fisherman. What are your thoughts on Rise of Resistance Ratatouille for someone prone to motion sickness? Rate both on a 1 to 10 scale, with 10 being Mission Space Orange. Ricky, do it.
I'm not the best because I don't get motion sickness. But yeah, but I would say, I mean, Rise is going to be a little bit more than Ratatouille because Rise moves a little bit faster, I feel like. So I would probably put it in, and it does have that drop in the middle. So, or at the end, I guess I should say. I'm going to say maybe Rise is like, it could be like a 6-ish.
Oh, man.
You think? Lower? Okay, good. Okay,
Lower.
Okay, 4? Am I better with 4? 3?
3
okay.
or 2.
All right.
I'm giving Rise a 3, and I'm giving Ratatouille a 4.
You give
Ratatouille higher?
I do too, because
and then you got those glasses.
See, I was thinking the opposite. I was thinking that
what's physical and what's virtual. It kind of screws up my brain. Like, really,
it's true. I think what it is with those is that when you're the screen, Ratatouille has screens, and for me and for most other people, it is the screen that impacts us with anything.
Right.
I usually don't get anything at Rise at all, but I will tell you the one thing that's really impacted me in terms of motion sickness. If I am already hot when I go and to experience the attraction, get that exponential number in mind, because it impacts me. Mike, do you feel the same way?
Yeah. You got to go in feeling good.
As cold as you can.
Yeah, exactly. Cold.
That I believe.
Like,
yeah.
Not hungry, but not full. You got to be like, you get like 2 hours after.
Planets need to align.
Exactly. Like, make sure you don't have a headache. Yeah.
Right. Totally. Every year I get older, I think there's another multiplier in there.
Yeah, I got like a 7-minute window that I can ride these things.
I know. So what's so funny? Next year we'll be down to a 3-minute window.
Yeah, exactly.
I was telling somebody that when Mission Space opened up, I had gone to the opening event, and I actually rode Mission Space before they had
changed it.
Yes, and I rode it 3 times in a row. And I was talking to my husband about that, and I was like, "Steve, do you remember? We did that. We rode that 3 times in a row, and it was like fun." And he's like, yeah. As you get older, your inner ear crystals.
That was during the space shuttle program.
Gotcha.
I was like, really? This is a because I'm getting older thing? And so, anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, see, I was way off. I didn't think about the fact that it's got screens.
The screens are usually the killer.
That's why I can't do a lot of stuff at Universal. Like, game over. I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Good
Elon Musk was 12 back then. Pam. So that's that's how long ago it was. Okay. Last question from my good buddy one of my guests over at the Magic for Less, Christopher Chabot, says, "Hey, BOGP crew, I have some expiring DVC points." And you say, "How is he your guest?" DVC members are always running out of points.
100%.
So that's why a lot of my guests are like that. This spring, and decided to surprise my parents with a birthday trip. They've never stayed deluxe, so we're excited for them to soak it all in. We're doing a split stay in the Grand Floridian and Saratoga Springs with 2 park days, Magic Kingdom and Epcot. Question for you. What do you consider the best burger on property? Planning our restaurants, and it dawned on me that I haven't had a burger down there in years. Also, with this being their birthday, I'm looking to do something extra for them. Considering Savor the Savannah or a fireworks dessert party, which would you pick? Thanks for everything, guys. Okay, best burger. Oh my God. We got to stop doing this at dinner. Chris, I'm about to kill you right now because I'm super hungry, and this is just making me work. I can't talk. Pam, you're down there right now. You could go get the best burger on property.
I know, right?
If you want. So what would you say?
And I'm trying to even figure out where that would be. I think so many restaurants have a good burger right now.
Yeah.
I want to say, gosh, I think that Ale and Compass actually has one.
How convenient that you're staying
right, that you're there.
I know, right? I know. Now I'm like, I think I might need that burger. Yeah, but I'm thinking about that. I know that, I think so many table services have a unique sort of twist on a burger that they sort of add something into it. So I think you're going to be able to find a bunch, but I'm going to say Ale and Compass right now is coming to my mind.
Okay.
Ricky, what do you say?
I think that if you're looking for like a quick service burger type of situation, I'm gonna suggest the first thing that really came to my mind was Deluxe Burger. I think they have some fantastic burgers. They've got some really unique flavors as well there. I think right now they have a French onion burger or something like that I've seen. So I feel like for like a quick service option, that's like the least, like, how you think of like theme park food, like that is what I think of, like that as quick service is a fantastic burger option. Oh man,
you know what? Raglan Road has a really good one that has Dubliner cheese on it. I know that Steve got that a lot, and Mark Yerkes is saying in there that guys are pointing they do because it has berries on it and cheese, and it's really good.
And Lisa's coming in clutch with the Steakhouse 71 burger. And Wade's coming into with the Grand Floridian burger. Grand Floridian Cafe.
Mine was from Grand Floridian Cafe too, but it's not. I don't think it's a Grand Floridian burger. Don't they have like a lobster burger there?
They did. I don't know if they still have the lobster burger. Actually,
you know what else? The Boathouse.
Oh yeah,
the Gibson's Sandwich King burger. This is the one that Steve always gets. It is so good. I would absolutely recommend that. So, not that we've named a bad one because they're all good, but over at the Boathouse, that Gibson's one is fantastic. So good.
Everybody who's on the treadmill here on a Wednesday morning that's or out pre-dawn on a run,
right,
for the burger,
I will give you Christopher's email address, and you can email him all your hate mail.
I know, right? Okay, hold
I
on.
hate when this happens when I'm on the treadmill. I'm like, oh, stop.
All right, so the Grand Floridian Cafe does still have the lobster thermidor burger.
Yeah.
It is a artisanal 7-ounce burger patty. and a lobster parmesan thermidor sauce on a seared brioche bun served with their cafe signature seasoned French fries. So that sounds good now, and they have it at dinner too. So, and that is a really good burger. I'm not gonna lie, Brian's gotten that a few times too. So
I mean, it's got the word thermidor in it. How do you not order something that's got the word thermidor?
I mean, I was gonna go with the word lobster, but you went with thermidor. So
I mean, I guess it just means hot. I don't know, but I mean, it sounds cool, like thermidor. It'd be like fake.
I don't think that means hot, by the way. But that's
thermidor.
I'm guessing. I mean, like thermometer is like
that's not
meter.
That's not
Therma. I'm breaking down the word. I'm using word attack skills. I don't know. All I know is it tastes good. Thermidor means good eating.
It's a sauce. Yes. Yes. It is. The thermidor is the sauce, but yes.
I'm from Missouri, but guess what? We won the Super Bowl, so it's okay.
I know, Christopher, you're going to have a hard time, making that list smaller because
I know we did not help.
Suggestions. No, we didn't. Now we made ourselves hungry too.
I know we did.
Yeah, but he needs to do, like I said, the inaugural Walt Disney World Burger Tour, and
for sure,
live stream or something. That'd be that's a good way to go. I'm just saying. So anyway. That's tonight's show because we got to cut you loose because you got to go get a burger. Everybody's gonna be going to rallies right now or somewhere,
That's not the best burger.
The worst burger in the world, basically. No.
Remember Zips back in the day? That was before rallies. I used to go there after baseball practice. There was a Zips. It was like a little place like rallies. Like you just drove through. There wasn't a place to go in. You just two drive.
No, I don't remember that
at all. Zips in St. Charles.
Got nothing.
Back. Mike Cavato, he listens. He was in St. Charles, so he'll back me up. Zips. Yes, okay. It was good. Anyway, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back again on Friday. Remember, no show on Thursday. Your podcatcher is not broken. We did not have a live call-in show Sunday night because Super Bowl. So no show on Thursday, but Friday we're going to be talking about, Pam was going to talk about, they had an adventure on the Disney Wish. So we'll talk about that. That was fun. I got to hear all about that when I was down there. Remember, because a lot of our agents, this was kind of the first experience on the Wish. So it was great getting their thoughts on that. And then we'll talk about the good stuff. Man, so many desserts, but we'll talk about that kind of stuff. Great fireworks shows, touring resorts, stuff we learned, and a tip for the Magic Kingdom that you do not want to miss. How's that for a teaser?
Oh, there we go.
This only took 2,300 shows. We're figuring it out. Anyway, show's always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. I am standing by this week. I want to help you plan an amazing trip. That's right. I want to put my knowledge to work for you. I've learned a lot of cool stuff because I want to help you have an amazing Walt Disney World vacation. I'm also well-versed on Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland, and Adventures by Disney too. So, hey, you want to go anywhere in the world? Let's make it happen this week. So just swing by the website, themagicforless.com. Check out all the details over there. You could go down a rabbit hole, just like the Super Bowl commercial on the Magic for Less, the Mouse for Less. There's all kinds of stuff. But eventually, you got to hit that quote form. Let me know. When do you want to go? What are you thinking? You thinking Polynesian? You thinking Pop Century? They're both awesome. Different, but awesome. When do you want to go? Yeah, who's going? And we'll just get you some availability, some pricing, and we'll go from there. We can always change it up. We can talk about options. That's what we do. We're going to get you to Disney. We'll get you wherever you want to go for the lowest price possible and no additional cost to you. So just swing by the website today, themagicforless.com. Fill out that quote. Let them know you heard about it here on the Be Our Guest podcast, and we'll take great care of you. I promise you that. So again, check them out at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to the patrons of the Be Our Guest podcast. We're going to talk about balloons this week on Mike in the Midwest, that bonus show that our patrons get. Do you know that when I was in elementary school, again, this is how old I am, we had at North County Christian School every year, we had a balloon launch day.
Okay.
And we would go down on the soccer field. Like we just had a field. It was like, we didn't have a football team. It was an elementary school. But we would launch balloons with like little postcards on them every year. And like the weatherman would come from the TV station and like tell us about the weather. And then we'd all go down. We'd buy like 10 balloons. You'd pay for them and had your name on it, like the address, like a postage on it. Like you just dude, I mean, that had to have been bad for the environment, right? Like
sure wasn't great.
Then we had a contest, like who's came back from the furthest away, right? And so that's the story I'm going to tell on Mike.
That's kind of crazy.
So that's what we do on Patreon. So you support the show, you get a little bonus show about nothing, about really stuff that doesn't matter and stuff that was probably terrible back in the 80s. But that's what we do on Mike in the Midwest. So join us, patreon.com/BRGS podcast. Give us a follow on social media. Here we are. Ricky's RIKKINIBS, Instagram and Twitter. Pam is the one to follow right now because she's sitting at Yacht Club. That's the jam. She's going to walk over to Ale and Compass in about 2 seconds. She's at TMFLT Pam. I'm at BRGS Mike. Great content from last week. Check that out. And of course, this Sunday night, we are going to have a live call-in show. So join Scott and I, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We'll be taking your calls. This is the 1 week because we will be off the air again next Sunday because Princess Half Marathon weekend. We'll be down running. Actually, we'll be done by then, but we'll still be at Walt Disney World, probably eating well. That's what we do after the half marathon. So join us this Sunday night. But until then, we're going to jump out of here and join you again on Friday. So have a great 48 hours until we meet again. So for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Let me save this bad boy. Or how do I save this? Save as. Oh, I got to change. Okay, so let's see. So this is episode 2239.
Oh, it's getting nice out now.
Oh,
Save it as.
is it getting dark?
Oh yeah, you can see Epcot in the background. Oh, they're doing the Beacons of Magic.
Oh, killing me. Killing me. I love the Beacons of Magic.
One mono.
Yeah.
Okay. It is saving. It shall be saved. Come on. Dang, I'm hungry for a burger right now.
Right, me too now.
This is killing me.
That Gibson's one is so good.
Yeah.
I love that one at the Grand Flow though. That thing is.
Yeah, that's one really good.
Is the
I
kid
bet if I
safe?
open the window, you can hear the friendship boats.
Yeah, I don't mind that. That'd be cool background.
Yeah. Steve's gonna come and do it.
This is your Captain Phil Shinegold. Please stand clear of the doors.
Let's see.
There's
It
our
might be
producer.
noisy.
That's our producer. Is that Pam? Dude, he's got his headphones on. He's
Yeah,
like,
he's got his headphones on.
Yeah, he doesn't want
he
to
looks
hear
like
me.
a total
Apparently.
producer. That's awesome.
He's like, I don't want to listen to you.
It's kind of background noise. Look at the spaceship bird.
I hear it.
Yeah.
I know, right? Too funny. Yes. Apparently, he didn't want to hear me talking. What?
Apparently not. No.
He has to concentrate. He's working.
Got it. What was that?
We're gonna be rapping.
I don't know what that.
It's a record scratch.
Oh, that does not sound like record
I even
scratching.
have a. Wait, nope, that's not it. Hang on.
We know that one.
That's not it either. Nope.
Oh my.
Did I hide it? Oh no, here it is.
Oh.
You get me all mad. I can.
Oh, that's
Again, live.
ready.
Wow.
We're ready for that.
Live in person. That's the thing. Okay,
Oh my god.
here we go. Let's talk about the trip.
Do it.
2240. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2240 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rahman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope you have a great weekend in store. No football this weekend. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. There's no really sports. There's a little college basketball going on, but man, this is the drought. So we're here to keep you entertained, and I guess it's time just to hang out with the family. And again, baseball needs to start soon because I don't know what I'm going to do. I got Princess Half Marathon weekend coming up here in about a week now, so I'm excited for that. So let's talk Disney. Let's talk the fun times we had down at Walt Disney World, and Pam's going to talk about the Disney Wish. So joining us today to have a fun conversation, we're headed down to Atlanta, and she is always over on the mouseforless.com, keeping you informed and up to date with everything you need to know about the Disney destinations. We have Ricky. Ricky, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm just kind of hanging out, waiting to see if I have a baby or not. So that's where we're at in life right now. Who knows? Any day now, we're at that point.
So this week has been a very busy week. Of course, earlier this week we had the registration for the Disneyland half marathon weekend next January. So we don't know, as we're recording, the outcome of that. Also, yesterday were the annual pass holder preview registrations for Tron.
Yep.
So a very trying week by probably many gray hairs were gained by many of our listeners this week, I'm assuming.
I'm sure. And, I usually take advantage of those annual pass holder previews, but I'm going to guess I did not take advantage of this one because,
I see no pressure. I mean, you got to look at it that way, right?
This is true. Yeah, I don't have to worry about, oh, no, when's it going to launch? Because, Disney never tells you because they want it to be a surprise because, they don't want people to be on the clock waiting and, clicking right at that time and, crashing everything, because goodness knows that's exactly what's going to happen. So, or would have happened if they had said like, okay, we're going to launch it at 7:00 in the morning. So,
but then again, you shouldn't keep pregnancy shouldn't keep you from living life. I mean, Rihanna did the halftime show.
She did. She absolutely did. And
that was her announcement, apparently, because we were all like at our party, we were trying to guess, without being mean, like, is she, and then boom, she said, and I was like, dang, I was right,
I was right. Yeah,
I did say it, and then I got yelled at, and then I confirmed. I was like, well, you can take your apology. You can quit yelling at me now.
Exactly. Stop yelling. But yeah, I mean, more power to her, because goodness knows when, during this pregnancy, I could not have gotten up on stage and danced around and sang. I would have been winded after about 2 seconds of that. So yeah, more power to Rihanna, because she did an amazing job with that. So
okay, well, let's ask Pam Forster about that. She's checking in live again, the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, live on location at Disney's Yacht Club Resort, not in Spa, just Yacht Club Resort. So Pam, what did you think? I don't know if you saw the halftime show, but she had like a bunch of looked like snowmen around her, dancers, and it was those things are.
Thanks, gone.
Looks so weird, right? Everything looked like all the background dancers. Everything looked a little crazy. Did you get to see it?
So I didn't watch it live when it was happening, but I've seen of course we all get to see the clips afterwards, right? I know. The halftime show is always quite the mixed bag of stuff, I think, right? I mean, and for some reason, some people have all kinds of feelings about it one way or the other. So I'll just say, it was the halftime show. I think that, she's a great performer, and what a better way to announce that you're pregnant than on the halftime show,
right? Exactly. Ta-da! Here I am.
You probably don't have to call anybody at that point, right? I mean,
then you're done.
Half the planet, all at once. And so here's how you're a Disney fan, right? There's always those memes and stuff. Okay, so I was at a party, not a big party, but I was just with my brother and sister-in-law, just like less than a mile away from our house over at their house. And we really weren't supposed to say it was a party because the rest of the family didn't come. It was just us having like nachos.
Okay.
So it was actually just us watching the game. We weren't supposed to say it was a party. So if anybody in the family is watching, it was not a party. We were just hanging out. Here's the deal. I'm probably going to get killed by this because I wasn't supposed to say that. Okay. So because I was specifically told by my sister-in-law, don't say it was a party. And it was
a party that was not a party.
It was not a party. Right. Here's the deal. I don't know if you've ever been in this situation, but okay. So you're a Disney fan when, and our listeners got to back me up on this. There was one part during the halftime show. Okay. Like it's a wide shot of her singing the song and like all those dancers, it was like 100 of the dancers, like they're in these white suits.
Yes.
They did that. They did the same move that the monkeys do during Fantasmic on the boats. When they go across,
really?
The two boats kind of go across, and those like glow in the dark monkeys. They do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're audio, but I'm here. Picture the moves the monkeys do. I'm doing it right now in the video. So go to YouTube. It's this move right here. They were doing that move for like 10 seconds. I'm like, it's the monkeys from Fantasmic. They're doing that same move, and I don't know why, but like for some reason that move kind of gives me gives me kind of nightmares. I think it's because those monkeys are like glow in the dark, and they say. Fantasmic's a weird show, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute, but because Fantasmic's like, it's kind of happy, but most of it's Mickey's nightmare, is it not? I mean,
true, yeah.
So is it not nightmare fuel? I mean, kind of,
right.
For everybody?
A little bit.
Because those monkeys are weird, man. They're glow in the dark. And then they do that move. They just keep doing it over and over. Like they're gonna come. I think I mentioned this on the show like a few weeks ago. Like stuff that repeats like over and over freaks me out. And that was the move they were doing in the halftime show. So anyway, back me up.
Mike's gone crazy, but
but if you saw that and you were like, man, that's the Phantasmic Monkeys move, because it's exactly the exact same. Maybe I've seen Phantasmic too many times.
Maybe that could be it.
Anyway, let's get to the content. We're just going to kind of give you some updates on what we learned at Walt Disney World and on the Disney Cruise Line, because we were down for an agent education program last week, which is awesome because as travel agents, we help our guests, and the way we can help our guests is getting firsthand experiences and also getting the inside information from Disney themselves, from the folks on the ships, from the folks at the resorts, the managers at the resorts, and the folks that we got to meet with the social media team from Walt Disney World, from Disney Parks this time. And it was very cool to hear their thoughts on things. So Pam, you guys kind of kicked it off on the Disney Wish. I didn't go on the cruise. You did a 3-nighter over the weekend. So give us some highlights from this beautiful new ship in the Disney Cruise Line fleet.
I think that's the best way to describe it. This beautiful new ship. The ship is, I've experienced it before, but when I walk on there, I think the thing that always sort of takes my breath away, even more so than the atriums in the past or the Grand Hall or whatever they want to call it. We all know you walk in, you have those levels of the ship that you can see. You see the colors, you see the lights, you just see it all, and it's breathtaking. I mean, the color palette of this particular ship is beautiful, and I think that was everyone's first impression when they stepped on. They just couldn't believe how beautiful everything was. I'm excited for the BOGPers who are coming on the cruise this summer because they'll get to experience that too. I think the other thing that so many people were, I think, maybe a little anxious about was that they've heard the reports from some other cruisers who didn't like the ship as much as the other ships and other people who did like it as much. And I think we all sort of walked away really finding that there are sort of positives to every one of the Disney Cruise Line ships. There are positive things to find in each one of them. And I think the only way individually you can figure out what's important to you is by experiencing it yourself. I've said on the show many times, and this is 100% true, this ship is my favorite ship. The Wish is my favorite ship. And I know that other people have other ships that are their favorite, which is awesome too. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't take too much stock in any review that was completely negative about the ship or completely positive, I think, because it's different. And sometimes that's not good or bad. It just is different. So, and love the ship again. Experience it again made me love it even more.
And the thing is, like, I haven't been on it yet. I've been on the Magic. I've been on the other 4 ships multiple times. And what I like is variety within the fleet, right? Because the Dream and the Fantasy, I mean, they're the same ship. I mean, you have different names. You got the Tube and you got Evolution and stuff like that. And I mean, there's minor aesthetic differences. And the Wonder and the Magic, kind of the same thing. I think they're a little bit more different within the same class. But I like the variety because the thing is, you can kind of sample around, right? If the Wish, try it out, and if it's more compartmentalized, or if it's it's more your style with this kind of bar setup or this kind of entertainment and spa appointments, adult areas, whatever you have, give it a shot. And it's variety. And if that's not your style, then you got the other ships to go to. But you could rotate. I like being able to say, okay, this time I'm gonna go on the Wish. Maybe this time I'll go back to the Magic for this kind of more old style, classic style experience with Disney Cruise Line, then maybe do the Fantasy. I'd like to not have clones of everything. So I'm glad it's a very different experience. At least it sounds very different. I'm excited to experience it. By the way, 136 days till the Be Our Guest podcast cruise. So not that I'm counting until that happens. So let me ask you about this, because here's one. We don't have we only have a short show, obviously like 40 minutes. So I want to make sure we get this in. You sailed concierge on the Wish during this sail. So tell us about that experience, because I think a lot of people might be curious about that, because the Wish, they kind of took concierge to a new level with Disney Cruise Line. That was kind of one of the focuses with this ship.
It was, and there's more concierge staterooms, but there's also so many more benefits. And if you are someone who's considering cruising on Disney Cruise Line in a concierge stateroom, the Wish is the ship that you're going to want to experience that. First of all, this was really designed with a much larger concierge lounge. And it's a private space to sort of get away from everything. They have drinks available at certain times, but then they also have a private sun deck, which to me is part of, a big part of the concierge experience. You're going to have access to the sun deck, and there actually are 2 hot tubs there, along with the tile sort of seating area where water comes down the back and whatnot. But there's just a lot of amenities for concierge that are available on this ship that aren't necessarily available on the other ships. And it's really an experience that I think you can see where the value comes for that, in that experience, because you do have access to these things. There also are other little concierge benefits: the pre-planning, the access to excursions and onboard activities sort of earlier than other guests. Even things like as small as you can stop and get popcorn before you go in for the show, or seating in certain areas as part of the concierge, right? Yeah. Part of the concierge experience. The staff in there is fantastic. They were able to assist with, a few different things that we needed help with, and they were able to do that. And the staterooms themselves are just, stunningly beautiful. We had a really nice stateroom, and it just sort of completed all of that. So is it something that I have to do every time? No, I don't feel like it is something I have to do every time, but is it something that we will do again in the future? Absolutely, we will. There's just a level of service and amenities that are there that makes that price point, I think, worth it, especially on different cruises.
So let me ask you 2 other questions about the cruise, and we'll move on to Walt Disney World, because that's kind of our focus. But you were sailing with a bunch of our agents, so I always say cruising is more fun with friends, like with a group, because you have a lot of activities that are just fun with a lot of people with you, extended family, stuff like that. That's why the podcast cruises are just a ton of fun, because you have a lot of friends all in common, and you can go do all these activities together. What was the best activity, or the most unique activity, or the most fun activity that you got to do on the cruise? Looking back now here about 10 days later, like what was one of those things that was just a lot of fun to do with a group?
So I think it's so much fun to travel with a group of people, because you feel like you're always running into different people that and that part is so fun. And just having that ability to naturally have that happen, to meet for drinks here, or to do this activity together here, or to watch a show here together, just with people that you ran into, I think is fantastic. We did have a chance to eat in the private Palo dining room again for dinner with a small group. It doesn't hold that many, but we got to do that. And I thought, oh, that was just so fun, getting to do that. I always forget about how much I really enjoy that part of the process. Getting to eat with people. I like to, there were 2 different groups. We had a group of agents who were eating main dining, a group of us who were eating late dining, and we sort of tried to mix it up a little bit, with our tables, and not confuse our servers too much in that space, but get to do that. So I really like that. I love seeing people experience the ship for the first time. I think that is really neat. And to hear from them, like, that I really love this, or I really didn't like this, or I'm confused by this. I think having that opportunity, the firsthand opportunity of seeing that, I think is really cool too. But there's nothing about Disney Cruise Line that I don't like. From Castaway Key to, the other parts of the ship, the shows, the dining, just all of it, I think is such a great experience. It's kind of the perfect vacation to take a group on, because there's literally something for everyone. So.
What I kept hearing about was the silent disco. Like,
oh my gosh, yes, we did do that. We absolutely did that one night.
Before. That is a ton of.
It's so much fun.
A tip. Let me just give a tip for the silent disco night for anybody sailing. Videotape the phone, the silent disco, because the video of it is hilarious later.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, when you video it, there's no music playing, but like everybody's dancing and and they're singing along. But I mean, everybody's singing different songs, and I mean, the video is priceless. So make sure you get video of everybody dancing.
It really is. And here's my other tip: don't be embarrassed. Just go do it.
Yes. Exactly.
I mean,
Cancel
anyone
somebody
who's
tomorrow.
making fun of the silent dancers is not joining in the
Yeah.
fun.
Get out. Get out.
Right?
Totally.
Exactly.
What's the adult area called on the Wish? Because you got like the tube and
It's
you got
not really. So
nothing.
no, so it's not really sectioned off like that, which is some of the things
Mm.
that people like and some of the things people don't like. But Luna is where that went on.
Oh, okay.
At Luna, it's just like different spaces are adult only at night, or you know what I mean, stuff like that. So
I like Luna. Cool. All right. Okay, so let's move over to Walt Disney World. We got to do some pretty cool stuff over at World. We were down there obviously to kind of rally as an agency there at the Magic for Less to get some training to, you know, really kind of build team and camaraderie. You know, some businesses do to get fired up. We kind of had like a State of the Union for the agency, which I really appreciated because I think every, you know, business and every team needs to kind of have a, you know, a rallying point every now and then to get everybody on the same page, fired up. Pam, I know you gave a talk to the agents. I really appreciated that. Great points. I got to say, when you busted out Ted Lasso, you're killing me there because I love that show. There's that you use the clip with the darts. I was like, don't show the darts.
Yep.
There's the darts. Stop. Be judgmental, or no?
Be curious.
Be curious, not judgmental. I was like, no,
that's right.
Stop. Yeah, it's such a good line, such a good scene. But so we got together there and we got to do some cool stuff. So what, looking back on it, reflecting on it, because you put this all together, and the funny thing was, like, I had no idea. You didn't tell us like what was going to happen, right? You would give the agents an agenda. You would say, be here at, you know, like in an area.
Yes.
But we never knew what was going to happen, right? And I mean, you might think, yeah, well, you know, Pam and Mike know each other from way back. They've been in the show 15 years. Pam was going to tell Mike. Pam didn't tell Mike. So Mike had no idea what was going on. I was just like, what's going on? My wife was asking me, did Pam tell you? No, I don't know. I'm getting an Uber at 5 a.m. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to the Contemporary.
That's right.
So, but we got there and we got to have experiences that, you know, like I never had, which was cool for me because, again, it got me out of my comfort zone. So, for example, let me get my first one real quick. The first night we kind of all got together and rallied and had kind of a little private room adjacent to the California Grill. What's that called? The Napa Room, I think.
Yeah, we were in the Napa Room.
So still, I've never eaten a California Grill, just for the record, but now I've been to 2 events adjacent to the California Grill. I went to a mom's panel thing there years and years ago. I mean, long time ago, but it wasn't a meal. It was like a cupcake reception or something. And then this thing, which was awesome. Man, we had like little desserts, little like apps and stuff. But then we got to watch the fireworks from outside on that deck at the California Grill. And I got to say, especially now with Tron, that is the place, because we've recommended this for years, but like I'd never done this. I'd done it down the 4th floor by Chef Mickey's. No. I mean, that's okay. But if you can get up on the top like George Jefferson, you're living life, man. And then let me just tell you, I don't know what strings Pam pulled, but as the finale was, and I have this on my live stream, so go to Instagram. It was one of my, I live streamed it. It's still there. As the finale was hitting for Enchantment, I am not kidding. I mean, like, finale was hitting. Whoosh, I turned my back. There was a SpaceX launch going the other way over Bailey.
Nice.
It was so amazing. It was unreal. But I mean, again, until you have those experiences, we've recommended it, but I hadn't personally, I figured I'd seen it from Top of the World, which is almost the same view. But it's something to be out there because the music is crystal clear. It's piped in, and everybody was out there excited. Like the patrons came out from the restaurant from California Grill. It was just, it's the perfect way to end a night at Walt Disney World. I mean, you just can't beat it. And Tron just made it look more beautiful now, I think.
It did. Yeah, I agree. I really wanted to kick everything off in a good way. Our sort of, tagline for the event and for this whole year is better together, because in some ways our agency is so unique. When we started, we were one of the few agencies that specialized in Disney vacations, and we've been here doing this for 20 years, which that's incredible to me to think about that. And so I felt like it was worthy of a pretty big celebration. And the California Grill was a place to do it. A night that ends with fireworks, I think, is a good night, right? Especially when you can see the Magic Kingdom fireworks. And I really wanted to celebrate the fact that our team does support each other in ways that I think is very unique, especially for travel agents who could consider themselves maybe competition or, in competition with each other. That is so not what our team does. And I'm so proud of that. And I'm also so proud that we have people, a number of people that make a living doing this. I think that that's something that really needs to be celebrated as well, that we're lucky enough to get to combine our passion with our job, that those worlds collide. And there's not everyone can say that. And the fact that we can, and that I can help other people do that, that's that's a big deal to me. So it is.
And I got to say, thank you to everybody that I got to finally meet in person, because working, in this kind of an industry, a lot of times it's a screen name that you see. Like we have all these, agent groups where we help each other through emails and through chats and, through phone calls sometimes. But, it's just a screen name. But, you finally got to see the smile behind the person, and got to shake their hand or, give a hug and say, you know what, thanks for helping me for the last 3, 5, whatever years. I've never got to meet you in person. And it's what it is with our listeners too. There's so many parallels. I was lucky because I got to say just a few words to the agents too. And I'm so glad that they gave me the time to do that. Was that there's so many parallels between working as a travel agent and having the podcast, right? Because really it's a family on both sides. Our podcast listeners, extended family for me, 100%. Like you take the time to let us into your life, whether it's when you're walking the dog or doing the dishes or driving the kids in the carpool. We always appreciate that you allow us in to just talk Disney with you. Like that is never, I'm never going to forget that. That is so cool that I get to live my dream that way. And when I get to help people at the Magic for Less, that is also a privilege. You don't have to let me help you plan your vacation, but you do. That's a privilege. And I love it. And every time I get excited, like, what's this guest going to get to do over at Port Orleans French Quarter? How many beignets are they going to get to eat when they go down next month? Or, Riverside, are they going to get to stay in the Tiana room? Are they going to do that this time? It's Pop Century. They're going to get the tie-dyed cheesecake. Like, I wonder that stuff for all my guests, and I get excited, and I love that we get that opportunity. It's a really cool thing, but I want to hit some of the stuff that we got to learn. One of the things I learned is kind of because we got to have some time to just explore on our own. So one of the things I wanted to do, and again, kind of thinking about Tom from Wednesday show, from the active person who is a reservist who's on active duty now with the Navy, I got to the Magic Kingdom right as the flag retreat ceremony was happening. And so I hung out in Town Square, got there like at 4:30. It happens at 5, and got to watch that ceremony because I love that ceremony. I think it's to me, it's one of the best things Walt Disney World does. It's Americana. So I watched it and got to see the veteran there, with they have the Philharmonic, play, God Bless America and the Star Spangled Banner and so forth, and all the military anthems. But here's one thing I didn't know. And this is one thing I want to encourage people to do if you get the opportunity, because I always thought that the ceremony ended in Town Square, like when they bring the flag, and that they fold it up.
It does not.
So they present it to the veteran. What happens though after that is, if you kind of hang back, the veteran will walk in kind of like a mini parade behind the Philharmonic with the some security officers. I guess those are veteran security officers too. I'm guessing they were probably former military. They kind of walk with the flag presented out front down Main Street, but they turn right at that first little street, Center Street there, and they have a family ceremony.
Yes.
At the end of Center Street there, which is there kind of before that little half street before, kind of by the little stores there. Before you get to Starbucks. And so you're welcome to go back there and watch this kind of mini ceremony where they present a certificate to the guest, and the family's there and they do pictures. And what happens after this was so, dude, I was tearing up. I got to be honest. All these cast members followed this ceremony. There's probably 50 of them, the Main Street cast members in like the red vests. They followed this thing all the way to this little family ceremony. And after that brief ceremony, is probably 3 minutes, every one of them went up and shake the veteran's hand. And they say, if there's any guests here that would like to shake this veteran's hand, please feel free. And so I went up and just said, thank you for your service. Like, very simply shook his hand. He said, thank you so much. It was like, it made my day. That was so cool that I could do that. You don't go to Walt Disney World for that, but it made me feel good. It probably made this veteran feel good that he's appreciated. It was just, because you don't get that opportunity. Like, every once in a while you get to do, buy dinner for somebody that's got like their hat on, Vietnam vet or something at the diner. stuff like that. But it was just an opportunity that I was so unaware of that I just happened to be, I had time to kill. So I just followed them. Like, well, where are they going? Nobody told me, but I turned the corner. I was like, well, what's happening over there? What are they still doing? So I watch it, like, any guests, we want to shake his hand, shake this veteran's hand, this hero's hand. I was like, absolutely, I want to. And it was cool. So Ricky, you've done that?
Yeah, I actually happened upon it kind of the same way you did. Brian and I had stopped to get ice cream. Look, all my stories involve ice cream. We stopped and got ice cream. No, it's not. There's nothing wrong with that. We stopped and got ice cream at the Plaza Ice Cream Parlor, and we almost always go to Center Street to have ice cream. It's just our spot where we always end up. We know that it's a great spot. It's private. It's quiet, and usually there's a table over there or whatever. And so we ended up sitting over there and we ended up eating ice cream. Well, I heard the music for the, they were getting ready to start the flag ceremony. And I think it was the first time I'd ever, I've seen it, but I've never seen it in full, and so I was like, I want to go watch this. So I ran basically down to catch the flag ceremony. And then, obviously it was over. So I walked back to Center Street. And, I didn't walk behind them. I was, ahead of them. And when I got back to my spot and they ended up turning the corner and coming into the Center Street. And so that's how I got to see that ceremony as well. Just because that's where we were sitting and eating ice cream at the time. And it was, it was so touching to see that in person. You're right. It is with a family, and, it's definitely more of a little private ceremony, but it's very touching and very, very, very emotional, and it's so cool to watch. So if you ever have the opportunity to see that part of the ceremony, I agree with you. I make sure you try to do it because it's so cool. And I would have never known it happened, except for I was sitting there eating ice cream and they just happened upon us. So it's a really cool.
That's what's cool about Walt Disney World in general. I was thinking about this. It's discovery, right? I mean, on this podcast, 2,300 episodes. How many times have I been there? Yeah. And I didn't know that. I didn't even know that happened. And I just stumbled upon it. And it made me feel so good. And again, I held back. I was way at the back, behind the family, behind the cast members. But at the end, I went up and just said thank you. So if you get that opportunity, and that's the kind of person that, if that's kind of your thing, just at 5 o'clock, Magic Kingdom, be there, when they bring down the flag. So, Pam, let's get back to kind of some of the other cool stuff we got to do. So, reflecting back on the week, what did you learn? What do you want to share with the audience? What we got?
So, I want to talk about one of the things that we did on our Epcot day, and that was we got the chance to have dinner in the Living Seas, and we then did Harmonious, our Harmonious dessert party, and we had the best location for that. Didn't you think, Mike? I mean, our spot was so good. And I've seen other ones in the past, but this was a different location actually than I had seen in the past, and it was really good. It was sort of one of the I don't know how to describe it. When you're coming down from the bridge from France, it was sort of right there, that location, as opposed to the one sort of the island that you go down the steps to see. When you go down the steps to be close to the water there. So I love that. And I loved having the opportunity to see Harmonious again. It was such a great location. And really loved that. But I think our big thing, the big surprise was Thursday morning when I told the team that we actually had to be meeting at the Contemporary at 6 a.m. because there was a motor coach leaving.
6 a.m. Okay, people, I was staying at Riverside. Okay, so we had to meet at the Contemporary, which means there's no transportation.
Right.
Period.
Yes. Right.
I'm at Riverside. We got to be bus leaves at 6 a.m. I'm like, what?
Yes.
I had to get up at 4:45 at Riverside.
Yes.
This was crazy, but it was worth it. But I know where I'm going. Where am I going? So yeah, it was great. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, so we did. So we were taking a bus over to Hollywood Studios, and we got to go over, and it was I think that part of the fun of that is you are in the parks when nobody else is in the parks. Mm-hmm. And that's so cool. You get great photos and whatnot. But of course, we were walking back to Galaxy's Edge. We actually had breakfast in the restaurant there in Galaxy's Edge. And then, of course, we
Rocking
got
Bay
to,
7.
I know. And then we got to do First on Rise, which was really, really cool. Love to just have that experience. I think that Rise is still one of those attractions that each time I've ridden it, even though I have ridden it so many times, it really amazes me with the way it really immerses you in that story. And do you remember all the articles that we would get talking about it before the attraction opened? They told us it was going to be the most immersive. And of course, what else are they going to say, right? It's going to be the least immersive, or no, they're not going to say that. They're always going to hype it up. But this was one that I think really met that hype. The way that you are in the story, you're riding the story, you're walking through different scenarios, you're interacting with different people, you're in a plane, you're on a transport, you're with the cast members, all of that. So I think that still for me is one of the most immersive attractions at Walt Disney World.
Here was the one fault I had with the whole breakfast and Batu, I called it, but the pre-dawn breakfast in Batu, which I loved. They put the breakfast Ronto wraps at the very end of the buffet line. Okay, so here's the deal. Those are my favorite. You got to put those first because I had loaded up on all the standard stuff, the scrambled eggs, the bacon, the sausage. If I'd have known we're just having breakfast Ronto wraps at the end, I'd have gotten 3 or 4 of those suckers and just called it a day.
For sure.
I love those things. And we had to eat real quick because we were like, we got to get on Rise before everybody gets here. It was awesome. Oh, yeah, that was a great treat. So we got to go around. We did tour the Contemporary, we toured the Wilderness Lodge, we toured the Grand Floridian, we toured the Polynesian, which you kind of mentioned on Wednesday's show. But it was neat to get updates. And kind of what I wanted to say really quickly when as I left, and we were exhausted after this because again, we'd gotten up super early and we went till late that night too. And we got kind of a little break after these resort tours around the monorail resorts, was that it was exciting to see that Disney is continuously updating these resorts, right? I mean, you saw these new rooms, incredible themed rooms. And here's the thing, I hadn't been in these rooms. I'd heard from Scott. Scott had stayed in the incredible rooms over at the Contemporary. I'd heard from a lot of guests that really loved these Moana rooms at the Polynesian. We got to see one that even had the Hey Disney Amazon device, which was pretty neat.
Yes.
It's a very limited test, they told us. I think only 10 rooms right now, but that was kind of neat. But the thing was, the thing you hear on social media, which again, social media is always squeaky wheel, right? But it was very subtle in both, but exciting. Like, I mean, it wasn't, I was looking for it and I didn't see like the Incredibles initially. And I didn't even see Moana at the Polynesian initially. Then I saw Hey kind of over by the coffee maker. And I saw, in the lamp, but you got to kind of look for it. It wasn't Pop Century and it wasn't Art of Animation. Nothing wrong with them, but they're just a different aesthetic. I mean, for somebody that hadn't been in those rooms, it's very tastefully done because you're at Walt Disney World. So the characters, I'm cool with that. Like, you're at Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Like, that's why you're there. But I mean, I thought it was perfect. Like, I would love to stay in those rooms. All of them, the Poly, the Contemporary, the Wilderness Lodge, all of the ones we saw, they were great.
Yeah, I agree with you. So for me, I always feel like when they're doing the room redos at this point and they're sort of reimagining those rooms, right? To me, it feels more grown up Disney.
Right.
It's not a big, colorful Mickey wallpaper with red and
Right.
blue and green. It is a more tasteful, because let's be honest, not everyone wants to see that, even though they're going to Walt Disney World. To me, I think it takes a more a guest who enjoys looking for and finding the Disney in the different
It's such a
rooms,
balance
right?
'cause it's there, like, for the Disney fan,
Yes.
like, "Oh, yeah, this is Moana," because there's Hey, there's, Moana,
Right, right.
Your welcome guy. Who's he?
Maui.
Maui. Yeah, he's there.
Yes.
Like, you don't see it initially. I mean, like, you're right, like, it's not like it's like a fat head, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Right.
like, you know,
Yeah.
like, I mean, people could be worried about that. It's not that. I mean, and you're right, the color scheme is the Polynesian tiki kind of culture color scheme.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is. But they had to, first of all, update the rooms with all the amenities that so many of us want and need to have in a room, right? We need more plugs. We need more USBs. We need a coffee maker that's awesome. We need, like, these are all the things that you're used to getting when you're staying in a room that is at that price point. And Disney sort of has to walk a fine line between providing those things and also putting a little Disney in the room. And they've done what probably, I don't know, 90% of the hotels I stay in have done. They've gone to white bedding. And there's a few reasons that, you know, there's a deep dive into that, but there's a reason for it. And people are like, well, that makes the room look sterile. Yeah, we want the sheets to be sterile, and we'll just leave it at that. And people can like think about whatever. Yes, you do want the sheets to be sterile. Yes, that is what you'd like.
You do,
but there's so much in the room that people that's where the color is. That's where the personality is. It's not in the bedding, people.
No,
it's not in the bedding. You don't want personality in the bedding.
You do not. Let's just put it there, and
we'll put a pin in it.
Put a pin in that. You don't want personality in the bedding.
Right. You want it in all the other different aspects of the room. Correct. Like even the room I'm in at the Yacht Club, which is probably, of all the rooms at Walt Disney World, it is actually probably the one that is the least in your face Disney. But I'm sitting here like next to the curtains, and there's all these different, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
all the different little, all the different, why am I blocking on what they're called?
Constellations.
Thank you. The constellations. And they're all little Disney people, right?
I love those drapes.
There's Hercules and Mickey and, but all of that and other things there's a picture behind me that has, you can't see the one, but there's a boat that has a little Mickey head on it. I mean, it's just like the little subtle touches of things like that I like so much about the room. And the other things I appreciate are the expanded plugs and USB ports and a better coffee maker and all of those things. So I think that Disney's doing a really good job. And the fact that they continue, I mean, look at all the rooms that they have renovated since COVID. That to me, I think is amazing. And the fact that they're committed to this process and they continue to find new ways to sort of surprise and delight us, I think is a really good thing. So,
I mean, I had a nicely renovated room over at Riverside, recently renovated with the new, floor and the look and the, God bless America, the ceiling fan. I love ceiling fans in hotel rooms. I'm not kidding. I walked in, I called Pam, ceiling fan. Yes.
Nice.
I mean, I sleep so much better with the ceiling fan. It's great. I'm not kidding. I'm a Midwesterner. I think that's a thing.
But no, because I don't sleep with ceiling fans. So I do not on. No,
we have it on high. Wind chill could be 30 below outside, and we got the thing.
No, I hate having the moving air on me. Actually,
I have to.
I can't stand it. Yeah,
I have to. Anyway, so it's one of those things. We got to. Disney even told us because we got to. These VIP people were taking us around all these hotel rooms because they know the secret room they can show us because it's ready and show ready and stuff. But the gentleman that was taking us around, he told me like this, obviously Disney surveys their guests all the times. And he says that right now the average guest, and they were talking like kids from like 6 months old to, older guests, over 4 devices per person on vacation.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Like that's how many plugs they have to put in these hotel rooms now. And so that's why.
But think about it: a watch, a phone, a tablet,
right? Yeah, a laptop,
laptop, exactly.
Crazy. Like the little kids have them too. I'm like, well, yeah, they probably do because like I know my nephew's like 3, but he's got an iPad, he's got a couple those devices. So yeah, I mean, it got to be practical. So real quick, because we're running short on time, but we got to see Fantasmic again. We had a little reception over there in the back and got to do that. I will say, I hadn't seen Fantasmic since, it came back. The update was awesome. Like, because I'm a big Fantasmic fan. Obviously, listen to the beginning of the show.
Right.
Where the music's from. But they've updated it, and it was better than ever. And I just love Fantasmic because you have that stadium seating, and there were people cheering. Like, people were, Moana came out, and people went wild like a rock star. I mean, there was an energy within the stadium, and it just made me feel alive to see the show. It was pretty fun. It was just, I was just glad to be alive and in the stadium there. It was awesome. So Pam, we were there. I would encourage everybody. I know sometimes Fantasmic's a little bit of work, but you could do like a dining package or something like that. Phantasmic's pretty awesome. Don't miss it.
It is. It really is. And the fact that whenever I hear that music, of course, I think of our podcast.
Yeah, me too. It's subliminal. Yeah.
Because that's a cool thing. But yeah, I really did. I like the changes that they made. I think that they sort of tightened it all up a little bit. I will say Phantasmic before, there were some times in the middle where I was like, okay, we need to keep it going.
Eliminations kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes. And so they've sort of tightened up the story and it added some more in, and you get to see a bunch of characters. And I think that's what everyone likes. I think that the scary part didn't feel maybe as long as it had in the past. I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but you know that was a thing for little kids. They sort of got freaked out by that. I remember when Hannah was little, and Ricky, you can use this little phrase over and over again. It's not scary, it's just loud. Because there are so many things that are loud, and kids that naturally associate that with scary. And there's a lot of things at Disney World that are loud, but not scary.
Whatever. That snake and those monkeys.
The snake's a little scary. The snake's a little scary.
They're scary.
Snake is a little bit. Yeah, that's true.
It is. But anyways, and we always said Mickey Mouse magic. I've always said Mickey Mouse doesn't want anything to happen to you. So
there you go.
Anyways, because he wants you to go buy stuff in the store.
I like that even more. Yeah.
No, but so that was a great way to end everything. So anyways, yeah, we had a great time. We're really fortunate again to get to do what we love to do, and you all make that happen for us. So thanks, everybody.
It was awesome. Thanks for all you did for us. And I want to thank everybody for their friendship that was down there that I got to meet for the first time. You know, folks from all over the country. It was great. And, I just got to say, can't wait to do it again. You know, it's one of those things like from Wreck-It Ralph, like, when can we do this again? Because it was a ton of fun. Yes. And, really, the thing is, like, I think everybody needs this in their line of work, right? We did this at the beginning of every school year. When I was an educator, we'd have a big district-wide rally. And, kind of everybody getting everybody on the same page, firing you up for the year. I think everybody needs the kind of kick in the pants to get everybody going. And that's kind of what it was. It's just exciting. You get to Disney's there is your partner, helping you help your guests. And that just made me excited. So I'm ready. Let's book some trips. Let's get people to Disney destinations. That's what I do. That's why I'm here every day. So that's going to wrap today's show. And I mean, I don't know what else to say, moving into the ad here. I'm here at the Magic for Less. I want to help you plan a great vacation. I'm so ready. I mean, it's simple. Swing by the website, themagicforless.com, mention the show, fill out the quote form, and we're taking care of you. I got all the latest stuff. So we're going to take care of you right now. So check them out, magicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. You allow me to do what I love doing, which is podcasting, putting these shows out each and every week. And our patrons get that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest every week. So come on over, patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Give us a follow on the social media. Ricky's at Ricky Nibs, RIKKINIBS. Pam's at TMFLT Pam, and she's down at the Yacht Club and at Walt Disney World right now. So check her out. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. I'll be heading down to Princess in about 6 days next Thursday. So get ready for that. Lots of fun pictures there. Probably we'll start off with a pub sub because I'm going to be down there with Scott. So I can't wait for that already. And of course, this Sunday night, just a couple of days from now, we'll have the live call-in show this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. So please join us and give us a call on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be waiting for you. All right, time to get out of here and let you get on with your weekend. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. We always appreciate that. We thank you for allowing us into your life and get to talk Disney with you. So we'll have some great shows on Monday. We'll have Sunday Night's Live show. We're always here. We don't miss shows. We have fun. All right, so for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. But whatever you do, stay safe and stay healthy. And we'll see you real soon. Hey, Fulton, have a good basketball game. I took a picture for you and put it on Instagram and Facebook for you. It's Fulton's store at Riverside.
Nice. No, I don't want kisses.
Fulton. All right. Well, Pam, go have a good burger.
I will. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you later.
I'll see you guys. All right. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Edited. That's a 3, 44, 1.